Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I, of course, am Aosander. You're you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. The Golden Loon will be joining us here shortly soon, hopefully. Today is, of course, Sun's Day? Moon's Day. March 16, 2026. This show is about interesting and important happenings that occurred to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with the year... wow, I'm all the way down here. Hold on a second. Starting with the year 597 BC. You remember that?
What's that?
The year.
Wise ass. Oh, man.
I may be an ass, but I'm not wise.
Okay.
Babylonians captured Jerusalem, replaced Jehoiachin with Zedekiah as king. The first siege of Jerusalem by the Neo-Babylonian Empire ended with the city surrendering to King Nebuchadnezzar II. Okay, so those are two vastly different things of information about the same event. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you. Nebuchadnezzar, we just talked about him a week ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, you know, he was like a, well, he still is a very known ruler of ancient times.
Yeah.
So he's going to come up more than once. That's for sure. 455 here. Let me get to our thing. Here we go. Western Roman Emperor Valentinian III was assassinated in Rome by the bodyguards of General Flavius Atinius in revenge for ordering the general's death in 454, 1 year prior. So Western Roman Emperor Valentinian III was assassinated while practicing on the campus Martius on behalf of Petronius Maximus. Alright, so he was doing something and he just got, like, annihilated. 1079, Iran adopted the solar Hijri calendar. I'm going to look that up here really quick. How are you doing, by the way, Loon?
Doing great.
Nice. So let's see here. Solar Hijri calendar. This is what it is. And, you know, Friday, Gregorian calendar is 27th of February, 2026. There's the Islamic calendar, Hebrew calendar, Coptic calendar, and then here's the solar Hijri calendar. Oh, Bengali calendar and Julian calendar. A lot of calendars going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Julian calendar, it's February 14th, 2026. So I'm turning 39 again. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here to 1190. York in England, pogrom. Jews seek refuge in Clifford's Tower, which was then besieged by a mob. About 150 people were massacred or committed self-deletion rather than submit to Christian baptism. Yikes. And from the other source, it just says massacre of Jews at Clifford's Tower in York. In a rare occurrence, our primary source actually has the majority of information.
More information. How about that?
1244, over 200 Cathars who refused to recant were burnt to death after the fall of Montsegur. Recant what? Like, so that's a question.
Sounds like, no, I don't know.
Like, did they recently convert to Judaism or Christianity?
It sounds like something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or was it some political thing? Like, if anybody can...
most common is religion.
Well, yes. But that's why. But it's not all the time, so I'm just trying to think of other possibilities.
Yeah.
If anyone figures that out, you know, let us and everyone else know in the comment section. That'd be great. Become part of the show. Don't just watch it. 1345, Holy Spirit glided above a fire in the Miracle of Amsterdam in some kind of legend. So I'm going to look that up here really quick, do a surface level scratch of that article. Stille Omgang is an informal ritual that serves as a substitute for the Roman Catholic processions that were prohibited after the Reformation in the Netherlands. Okay, but what does this have to do with the spirits gliding above the fire? Here we go, Miracle of Amsterdam. Here, what does this say? A seriously ill man living in a house on the Kalverstad received the last sacraments from a Catholic priest. After receiving the consecrated host, he vomited, following the custom of protecting consecrated elements. The contents were thrown into the household fire. Witnesses claim the host remained intact and showed no signs of burning. The next day, the priest brought the host to St. Nicholas Church, now known as the Oude Kerk. By the following morning, it had vanished from the church. It was then discovered back inside the same Klauerstadt home. Once more, the priest gathered believers and returned it to the church. Again, it later appeared in the original house. Okay, so this is a whole story. So I'm gonna actually put this in the underbar section. So Spirit Fire. Oh, look for Spirit Fire after the live stream in the underbar section. We got to continue on up here. 1517, Pope Leo X held the last session of the Fifth Council of Lateran, convoked to restore peace between Catholic rulers and assert the authority of the Pope. I presume it was successful because it's still around today. So, 5027, Battle of Kanwa, Mughal forces led by Bapur defeated a Rajput confederacy led by Rana Sanga, aided by Mughal artillery. Afterwards, Bapur had a large pile built of enemy heads. Yikes.
Jeez.
Actually, do I have... no, I'm not here yet. 1621, actually, I'm literally right there. Native American chief visited colony of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Samoset, a Mohegan, visited the settlers of Plymouth colony and greeted them. Welcome, Englishmen. My name is Samoset.
The last of the Mohegans.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Oh. That's, though, a completely different time.
I know.
But that is a really good movie.
Yeah.
No, that is a really good movie.
Oh.
Have you not?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Last of the Mohegans?
Yeah.
That's the saying.
Oh. No, like that was actually, like, I think it was a book. And I think it's been around. I think it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But I know it's a movie because I've seen it.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, there was Last of the Mohegans, and then what I was thinking of was what's that one like in with like the Aztecs or whatever, and then at the end the Spanish ships are there.
Oh yeah. Oh. I'm not gonna get.
But Last of the Mohegans was a movie. I know that. They made fun of it on South Park. So. 1641, General Court of Election declared Rhode Island a democracy and adopted a new constitution. All right. And just going to load up so see if we have any comments going on here. 1641, 1660. Do we have music going? Yeah, we do. English Long Parliament disbanded. The Long Parliament of England was dissolved so as to prepare for the new Convention Parliament. All right. I had to get rid of the old to make in for the new, 1689, the 23rd Regiment of Foot or Royal Welsh Fusiliers was founded. That's what this image is here. In 2004, it merged with the Royal Regiment of Wales to form the Royal Welsh Regiment. So it's still around in a way. It merged with another entity to form a brand new one, with the two old ones. 1769, Louis Antoine de Bougainville's expedition of 2 ships completed the first French circumnavigation of the world, arriving in Saint Malo in France. It also carried the first woman to circumnavigate the world, Jeanne Beyer. It's pretty interesting, this source being notoriously leftist. I mean, even you are starting to see what I've been talking about, now that you've been, on part of the show nearly every day since the start of this year, which, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy you too. But with this being a notorious left source, I just find it kind of interesting how they threw this in at the end. Like, also carry the first woman to circumnavigate. You'd think they'd be like, first woman to circumnavigate. She's a hero. She's a superstar. She's an astronaut. She's just like Taylor Swift. Some bullshit like that. 1792, Denmark became the first nation to ban the transatlantic slave trade for financial reasons. It did not go into effect until 1803, 11 years later, causing a frenzy of activity among slave traders who even received financial support. An estimated 120,000 enslaved Africans were transported from Africa to the West Indies aboard vessels flying the Danish flag. It's telling me to image search this because it has several things, but I have a map right here first. But what's really interesting is the majority of the African slave trade, it went into the Caribbean, and then from the Caribbean, it came into us. It doesn't show a connection of the arrows. It shows that it went up in this, and then maybe it did go that way, but there's a lot of more islands, and, but it doesn't suggest a direct line to North America from Africa. So.
Well, it looks like they had a stopover, but...
Oh, this is interesting. The triangle trade. Guns, rum, and goods, come from Europe into Africa, and then slaves go from Africa into South America, and then sugar and tobacco go from South America back into Europe. A triangle. Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play that as a video game. Slavery is wrong. Don't forget that.
You think?
1792, King Gustav III of Sweden was shot by Count Jacob Johann Arkenstrom at a masked ball at the opera and died on March 29th. Yikes. So at one of those masquerade parties. Oh, this looks like that's the actual costume, I think. It says here, assassination of King Gustav. I think this is the costume he was wearing at the ball. I don't know why they'd have the entire suit, because that's a mask right there, probably for a masquerade. So that's probably the mask that he was wearing when he got shot in the head. Or wherever he got shot. I don't see a bullet hole. Anyway, 1802, first U.S. military academy at West Point was established through Congressional Act, opened on July 4th, 1802. July 4th, what did it take to open for that place?
Yeah,
well,
kind of.
It's fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1802 as well, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers was established for the second time. So we spoke about the first time yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and apparently it got established like 4 times, I think. I'm not sure. 1815, William I was proclaimed King of the Netherlands, including Belgium. Prince William proclaimed himself King of the United Kingdom of the Netherlands, the first constitutional monarch of the Netherlands. 1827, Freedom's Journal was the first U.S. newspaper owned and operated by black Stadians and began publishing in New York City. Awesome. So, and I refuse to use the term African Americans to talk about black people because Elon Musk is from South Africa. He is an African American, and he's somehow whiter than my ass. I don't even know how he does that. 1829, Ohio authorized high school night classes, all right, to extend upon education, which I hope everybody watching this is. 1830, London's reorganized police force, Scotland Yard. We also have New York Stock Exchange, slowest day ever. 31 shares were traded.
What?
Woo!
31 shares.
31 whole entire shares. Wow. 1836, Constitution of the Republic of Texas was approved and legalized slavery. Uh-oh. What's going on there, Texas? 1861, Arizona Territory voted to leave the Union during the U.S. Civil War. We also have Confederate government appointed commissioners to Britain. A lot of people don't realize that Britain, I don't think France really was involved, maybe Spain, but I know for sure Britain did conduct trade with the South because they actually wanted to cause mass destabilization, and then they wanted to invade again. Like they wanted to try it out again. So they were feeding the rebels in the South to cause destabilization, and then once the dust settled, the redcoats come right back in and takes advantage of it, of an entire country right after it's tired after a war.
It's pretty slimy.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah. Let's see here. 1861 as well. Edward Clark became governor of Texas, replacing Sam Houston, who was evicted from the office for refusing to take an oath of loyalty to the Confederacy. Wow. Wow.
I had no idea.
Wow. They kicked out Sam Houston. Of all people to kick out, they kicked out Sam Houston. They should have known that there was something wrong with the Confederacy when he said he wasn't wanting to be on their side. You know? Wow.
Well, it doesn't say he wouldn't be on their side. It said he wouldn't take a loyalty oath.
Yeah, that means that
you're
not.
His loyalty was Texas and Texas only. I'm making up stuff now.
Well, whatever the reason, that's Sam Houston.
I know.
That's crazy.
And yet his name still goes down in history.
Yeah. 1867, Joseph Lister first outlined the discovery of antiseptic surgery in an article in The Lancet. All right, here we have a picture of. It looks like they have some kind of thing where they just spray the area with antiseptic. That would make sense. So, for some reason, I thought this was like painkiller or something, something that we take.
Yeah,
something we take either an IV or something like that, or maybe even what's the word when they knock you out?
Yes.
Yeah, but there's a term for it.
Can't help you.
Damn. 1871, first fertilizer law was enacted. What country? 1872, first English FA Cup final. Wanderers defeated Royal Engineers 1-0, with Morton Betts scoring the winner at Kennington Oval, London. And I believe that's cricket. 1876, Nellie Saunders and Rose Harlan fought the first female boxing match in New York. We have a picture of that here.
Look at that.
Yeah.
What a great picture.
Yeah. Neither of them look too intimidating, but
no. I'm not running for shelter.
1882, U.S. Senate ratified the Geneva Convention of 1864, not to be confused with the Geneva Convention after World War II, or World War One. What was it, 1 or 2? It was 2, right? Because the Treaty of Versailles came out of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But much like the the Treaty of Paris, which there's literally dozens of treaties called Treaty of Paris.
Oh, really?
It's just like the Treaty of Paris this year, the Treaty of Paris that year, the Treaty of Paris regarding whatever. But there's so many Treaty of Parises. But yeah, this is the Geneva Convention of 1864. The U.S. Senate ratified it, legitimizing the International Red Cross and the American Red Cross. All right. That's cool. 1883, Susan Hayhurst became the first U.S. woman graduate of a pharmacy college. All right. 1898, in Melbourne, the representatives of 5 colonies adopted a constitution which would become the basis of the Commonwealth of Australia. Cool. 1900 now, the American League met in Chicago. Ben Johnson announced American League will be Chicago White Stockings, Washington Senators, Milwaukee Brewers, Detroit Tigers, Cleveland Blues, Boston Americans, Philadelphia Athletics, and Baltimore Orioles.
Now, did you say Milwaukee Brewers?
Yes, I did.
So they...
Are they in Cleveland now?
Huh?
Cleveland?
No,
right?
It's the Milwaukee Brewers now.
Yeah.
They used to be the Milwaukee Braves. That's what surprised me.
Oh, no, because Braves, I think, is that referring to like the Native American Braves?
Yeah.
And did they?
But I'm saying, so they are now the Milwaukee. So they went back to an original name or something.
Well, come on a second. That's a good point to make up. Did the Milwaukee... Hold on a second. I'm just going to copy and paste this thing. Hold tight, audience. Give me one moment. I'm doing historian things live on air. Just one moment. I just have a question to mark here for later. Did the Milwaukee Brewers originally called named the Braves, or were they the Brewers originally before? That's a good question because, like, usually this source is really good at saying, like, in one way or another, what the name was of the city, you know, or the country or the region at the time, and what it is today, or what it would be in, like, in present day Morocco or something like that. Yeah. But the way this is written, like, this is what I'm thinking. No, what I'm thinking is scary because if it was originally called the Braves, because I'm thinking this is an instance of rewriting history. If it was originally called the Braves, and they're not even mentioning that it was called the Braves, are they trying to erase it from history?
Well, I think what it is, the Milwaukee Braves moved to Atlanta. Became the Atlanta Braves. And then I think Milwaukee got a new franchise, and they called it the Brewers.
Well, pardon me, whatever the case. Audience, let us know in the comments section, answers to this question, what we've just been discussing and everything. We got to keep on going here. 1900 as well, Arthur Evans rediscovered the Bronze Age city of Knossos in Crete, home of the legendary Minotaur. So that's where I can't think of this word either now, the Labyrinth. You know, that's where the Minotaur, always was and everything. 1907, first-class cricket game between New South Wales and Western Australia. 1910, Barney Oldfield used a bends to break the existing records at Daytona Beach Road Course at 131.25 miles per hour. Pretty sure that has been completely destroyed by now. Yeah. Didn't we have a car that went faster than the speed of sound? I'm sure we did. So.
I don't recollect that. I wouldn't be surprised, but that'd be quite a feat.
I mean, like, in the air is a lot, easier. I'm not saying it's easy,
you don't
but
have
like,
the resistance.
yeah. So, because then you have like the tires, all that stuff to account for. So, 1915, British battle cruisers, inflexible and irresistible, hit mines in Dardanelles. I wonder if they flexed and resisted. 1915, Federal Trade Commission organized. 1916, U.S. and Canada signed a migratory bird treaty. That's a weird treaty, but okay. Yeah, I know.
Don't shoot the birds that are coming down from the north.
Yeah. 1916 as well, the 7th and 10th U.S. Cavalry Regiments under John G. Pershing crossed the U.S.-Mexico border to join the hunt for Pancho Villa.
We talked about that already.
Yeah, well, yesterday we spoke about that when they that huge discrepancy, thing we spoke about and all that stuff. And that's when we went over, and then this is See, like, history is weird because there's a 24-hour or more, like, time zones. Some things that happen on one date would be recorded on another date somewhere else.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's the only explanation, because there are a lot of repeats. You know, as you've been starting to notice.
Yeah.
So, 1917, Russian Grand Duke Michael, brother of Tsar Nicholas II, deferred acceptance of the Russian throne. The old style was March 3rd. So we spoke about that yesterday. This was when Nicholas, gave him the power, and then this guy's like, no, I don't want it, because this was 1917, the communist revolution, the Bolsheviks and all that stuff. Lenin rising to power and taking over. 1918, Geoffrey O'Hara's KKK Katie song published. They need to change that name. Yeah, I know, right? 1918.
That just blew my mind when you went KKK and then Katie and then what?
I mean, am I supposed to be like Katie? Like, is she a chia pet or something?
Yeah, that's what it probably is.
Yeah, well, you need to change the name because, of reasons why
it's history.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that reminds me, like, the British, like, over in jolly old England, there was some kind of something involving, like, getting children involved in something. I don't know. It was something involving children. It was called the Cool Kids Club, but it was KKK.
Oh.
Now, they had no idea about the Klan, because, like, no internet, like, there's, like, even still today, there's still a lot of culture shock between peoples and everything, but it's getting a lot less, actually. We are really becoming a unified world people as far as being aware of the cultures. But anyway, it's no longer existing because, they did figure it out eventually. But there was advertisements, hey kids, join the KKK. No. What?
That probably has in the song a little... the key is probably
Katie.
The stuttering deal.
No, I can see what you mean. It's just like it's 1918. There's still a lot of stuff involving civil rights happening. I would have. Well,
the song's one thing, but when you write it out, it looks horrible.
Yeah. Anyway, 1918 Finnish Civil War. Battle of Lankijobiija was infamous for its bloody aftermath as the whites executed 70 to 100 capitulated Reds. These are different. These are not people. These are like the red shirts, the black shirts, the white shirts. Like these are political groups. These aren't like ethnic people. These are political groups. So like the whites and the Reds during the Finnish Civil War.
Right.
1920, First Acre Park, also known as Baby Park in the Bronx, was renamed Melrose Park. Okay, freaking a lot of history for that park there. 21, Britain signed a trade agreement with the USSR and sent a trade mission to Moscow. This went against the US, who in the same month refused to sign the trade agreements. 1922, Egypt achieved independence from Britain, but British troops remained. We've been talking about British achieving independence for the past couple of days here. 24, the free port of Fiume was formerly annexed by Mussolini's fascist regime. 25, an earthquake measuring around 7.0 magnitude occurred in Dali, China, killing an estimated 5,000 people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
1 century ago, 1926, Robert H. Goddard launched the first liquid-fueled rocket. Actually, yeah, here we go. Perfect. It went to 184 feet or 56 meters. So the very first liquid fuel rocket at Auburn, Massachusetts, and here it is.
That's amazing. Back in 26.
Yeah.
Talking about liquid fuel.
Mm-hmm. 1930, the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, was floated out to become a national shrine. So I hope it's still I hope they didn't sink it to make it a reef or anything like that. I wonder if it's a museum or something. This looks pretty modern though, this photo, so it has to be still like
look at the picture. What's the crowds there? It looks like they're doing something in honor of it.
Yeah, this looks like a modern picture.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, probably 10 years ago. So.
Well, I can't tell you that.
Do you have yellow submarines over there? Or actually, I think that might be rescue vehicles or whatever.
They got the original flag on it, though. Look at the stars.
Yeah.
13, it looks like.
That's cool. What else do we got here? 1931, Genootschap Oosttaal, or Our Language, organized in Netherlands. I don't recognize that at all. It's not my language. Huh. 1934, Academy Award Gold Statuette was first called an Oscar in print by Sidney Skolsky. And, now we know the whole world has known about it ever since. So,
Wonder where the name Oscar comes from. I thought it was a person of some sort.
I think they just named him, like how some people named objects. Like, oh, hey, I named my car this, and I named my stuffed animal that, whatever.
Yeah.
1934, U.S. Congress passed Migratory Bird Conservation Act. Here we go again with the birds.
More birds.
35, Adolf Hitler ordered German rearmament in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. So he ordered Germany to rearm herself in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Conscription was reintroduced to form the Wehrmacht. 1936, warmer than normal temperatures rapidly melt snow and ice on the upper Allegheny and Monongahela rivers, leading to a major flood in Pittsburgh. So much for that liberal propaganda about climate change, huh? 1936, this stuff is happening. The same stuff that we're going through today, almost as if they're just full of shit, which they are. 1938, Temple defeated Colorado to win first NIT. What? Trying to find that. What does that even mean? Knit? Like nitwit? Or like National Invitation Tournament, okay. It was the inaugural edition of the annual college basketball competition. Oh. Okay, so apparently Temple College defeated Colorado College. Okay.
It sounds like the NIT then. Yeah.
Yeah, NIT.
Yeah. That was the biggie, not the NCAA, which they have today. The NIT still is around, but it's really a secondary tournament. That was the biggie back then.
So like how many things like the big ones fall. So
yeah.
1939, Hungary annexed Republic of Carpathia, Ukraine. And we have the from Prague Castle, Hitler proclaimed Bohemia and Moravia a German protectorate. 1941, National Gallery of Art opened in Washington, D.C., and Russian composer and pianist Dmitry Shostakovich received the Stalin Prize. He's the one man that Joseph Stalin could not kill. If there ever was one man, it's him. Yeah. 41 as well, Operation Appearance took place to re-establish British Somaliland. Okay. French victory, or the French Vichy Internal Minister in 1944, Pierre Pichou, was sentenced to death for treason. Good. He was the one that was installed by Nazi Germany to be a puppet president, puppet leader, whatever the head guy was for Vichy France, which is the southern area, while Germany occupied and took over northern Paris and Normandy and all that jazz. So good. This guy deserved what he got. 45, Würzburg, Germany was 90% destroyed with 5,000 dead in only 20 minutes by British bombers. They got obliterated. And it's a small image, but look at that. This is nightmarish. The entire city is on fire. Like, it's a painting, so I don't think it actually was that, like, all at once. But, man, that just really drives home the point. 20 minutes, 5,000 dead, 90% destroyed. Hey, 1945, World War II, the Battle of Iwo Jima ended, but small pockets of Japanese resistance still persisted. And we already went over the other day when that one guy...
Yeah, 20 years later or more.
Yeah. 47, Convair liner, the first U.S. twin-engine pressurized airplane, was tested. I gotta check that out here really quick. Convair CV-12 family. Okay. So, here we go. That looks pretty cool. Nice little bird there. 1948, jazz musician Billie Holiday was released early from Alderson Federal Prison Camp in West Virginia due to good behavior.
I wonder what she did. She's a well-known singer.
Well, she might have spit on a cop or something. I'm not sure. Like there will be articles of celebrities and famous people doing weird things and getting arrested. So. I know for certain that there's one where it was I think an actress or a female singer, or whatever, spat on a cop. It was just like, why? 1950, first annual National Book Awards. All right. 52, 1,870 millimeters of rain in Seattle's island of Reunion, the world record. We spoke about all that rain the other day. You know that one record?
Yeah.
So,
God, it was.
Yeah, but this says the world record. That's a lot of. That sounds like a lot of millimeters. 1,870. I'm going to look that up here. Let's millimeters to feet. Let's see if it says to feet. Wow, 6.1 feet. So yeah, that's like this tall.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that is deep. What else we got here? 1955, Josephine Corazine appointed as first Dutch female judge. And National Hockey League president Clarence Campbell suspended Montreal Canadiens superstar Maurice Rocket Richard for the remainder of the season after he viciously attacked an opponent. Riots ensued in Montreal. Well, I mean, like, he has to face the consequences of his actions.
Very unusual to, suspend someone for a season.
Well, if you don't, he's just going to start...
fine you or whatever, but it must have been something really serious.
Well, like, if you want to stop fighting, you got to set a precedent. 1955, President Eisenhower upheld the use of atomic weapons in case of war. Wow. Eisenhower, come on, dude. You know better than that. 57, Toronto Maple Leafs tied an NHL record 37 points, beating New York Rangers 14-1. Ouch. 59, Iraq and USSR signed economic and technical treaty. I wonder what that specifically entails. That sounds like something interesting to pursue. 1960, dedication of National Observatory at Kitt Peak in the Quinlan Mountains of the Arizona Sonoran Desert. Tohono O'odham nation lands of Arizona are dedicated. Okay, that's pretty cool. 1962, the first launching of a Titan II rocket.
Ah.
So we have two, rocket histories on this day.
Liquid fuel, yeah.
Yeah. Well, by now, would it be solid? Or would it still be liquid in 1960s?
No, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because the physics between the two, right?
No.
With liquid rockets, you have to actually occupy. It's a minimal amount, but still you have to separate the entire tank into different
sections?
pockets and all that stuff with a free flowing in between. Otherwise, when the rocket launches, you have all that liquid moving around in the rockets.
Okay.
They do the same thing with tanker trucks. It's not just one big, tank.
You don't want to slosh.
Yeah, because if you suddenly have to stop, it's already kind of stopped. It's in its own little thing.
Yeah.
It's not like it's way back here in one giant lump and then whoop, So
makes sense. Never thought about that.
Because nowadays it's all primary solid fuel because you can occupy the entire space with just a giant chunk of solid stuff and it just burns like a candle, rather than all that liquid everywhere and all that stuff. And liquid is heavy, and the farther you want to go, the faster you want to go, the more fuel you need and the more weight you make, and then the cycle continues. So 1962, U.S. super constellation disappeared above the Pacific Ocean, killing 167 people. It's a super constellation. It's some kind of airplane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 disappeared in the Western Pacific Ocean, with all 107 aboard missing and presumed dead. So we have a discrepancy of 60 people. Where did these other 60 people come from, or where did they go? So, anyway, in 1964, Green Bay Packers halfback Paul Hornung and Detroit Hornung and Detroit Lions defensive tackle Alex Karras were reinstated in NFL after 1 year suspension for betting on football games.
What? I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he was a major quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, which is one of the premier teams at the time.
I've surprised you twice with some sports history here. Yeah. 1966, the man from UNCLE, star David McCallum, received huge welcome in London. Now, what is the man from U.N.C.L.E.? What is this? Is that some show or
a series? Man from U.N.C.L.E., yeah.
Okay, so it's just a series.
Yeah.
So just a series. Just
a weekly TV show.
All right, so it's not really that notable. 1966 as well, Gemini 8 was launched with Neil Armstrong and David R. Scott aboard, conducting the first docking of two spacecrafts in orbit. Flight was aborted after critical system failure, with the crew returned safely to Earth. So they got up there, but they had to come back down. Well,
did they connect and then have to abort, or did they abort before they connected?
Well, it says here, the other source, they did perform the docking.
They must, or it wouldn't be the first time to do it.
Flight aborted after critical system failure with the crew. So I guess that was after they docked. Okay. But, Then what was the primary purpose of it going up there? How do you abort after you're done finishing your mission?
Well, they had some kind of problems. And, how many times were they going to go around and all that stuff?
True. 1968, General Motors produced its 100 millionth automobile, an Oldsmobile Toronado.
Ah.
Yeah. 68 as well, the My Lai massacre occurred, in which U.S. soldiers killed about 400 unarmed Vietnamese civilians in one of the most controversial incidents of the Vietnam War. The death toll is between 347 and 500 in specifics. And this is why we operated the way we did in more recent times and everything, how the rules of engagement, we don't fire unless fired upon. And that really does cause more casualties on U.S. soldiers. But ultimately, for political reasons, the life of a soldier is worth, like, keeping a politic aboard, rather than soldiers just going in a hot zone, guns blazing, like how we did in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. War is hell, Like it's its own monster, and to try to understand and contain it, really. I mean, I've never served or anything like that, but I've talked with people who have, and to try to put it in a define, to try to define what war is and operate within, sometimes it's impossible. Horrible things are going to happen. 1969, Boston Bruins scored an NHL record 8 goals in one period. That's impressive.
1 period.
Yeah. 1970, Oxford University Press and Cambridge University Press co-published the Old Testament of the New English Bible and completed New English Bible incorporating wait, what the hell? That's weird. 1970, they co-published the Old Testament of the New English Bible and completed the Old English Bible, incorporated the New Testament, first published in 1961. Okay, that kind of gave me a stroke trying to read that. Did you follow it better than I did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I guess I'm just having a hard time here. 1972, John Lennon and Yoko Ono were served with deportation papers by U.S. Immigration Department. Bye! Don't let the door kick you in the ass on the way out.
I think they went up to Canada, right?
Frickin' Chihuahua. So, I don't know. I don't care. Like, just like that one video I showed you, she was just like screeching into the microphone. That's why I call her a Chihuahua. So.
Yeah, with somebody with a major blues.
Yeah, well, you saw his reaction. He was like, "Whoa!"
Going, what the hell?
Yeah. And in 1972, John Lennon, we got that one. 1972 as well, singer James Brown performed 2 shows for over 1,000 detainees awaiting trial at the adolescent remand shelter on Rikers Island in New York City.
Adolescents, huh?
Yeah. 1973, OPEC discussed rising prices to offset decline of U.S. dollar value. 1 year after that, first performance at the new Grand Ole Opry, House of Opryland, in Nashville, Tennessee. 365 more days later, U.S. Mariner 10 made the third and final flyby of Mercury. Cool, we're studying the planets. 77, U.S. President Jimmy Carter pled for a Palestinian homeland. Well, there was one until you shoehorned Israel in there, and now it's not even recognized on the map anymore. An entire people, forced to do unspeakable things upon others, upon other humans, just because their home just got stepped on. Really sad. 78, Aramco Cadiz spilled 223,000 tons of crude oil off a French coast. The supertanker Aramco Cadiz split in two after running aground on the Port Saul Rocks, 3 miles off the coast of Brittany, resulting in the largest oil spill in history at that time. So, yikes! Hey, there's actually a video. It's kind of scary.
How that compares to the Valdez spill.
I think that was worse because this was at the time. When was the Valdez? If you remember?
I'm not sure. I was trying to think.
There's a video I'm trying to find. Here it is. Let me pause it and bigger it for you so you can see it here. Sorry, that's a stupid short, but like this is apparently this shit got hit by a rogue wave or something, and like it went over, but it's split in half. Watch this.
Jeez.
That's not good. Oh no! Immediate mayday. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like immediate mayday. Like yikes. That's scary. 1978, Red Brigand kidnapped former Premier Aldo Moro in Italy. 5 people were killed, and he was later murdered by his captors. So that's not good. 1978 as well, U.S. Senate accepted Panama Canal Treaty. 79, Sino-Vietnamese War, the People's Liberation Army crossed the border back into China, ending the war. Moving on into the 80s now, 1983, smallest crowd of 1,814 attended NBA Cavaliers versus New York Jets game at Cleveland Coliseum. You know, like, if David Rush somehow, like, is watching this video, like, I say, try to gather a very small crowd of people and try to make the record for the smallest crowd. You know, like, to go watch a football game, you know, a basketball game, a baseball game, like... I don't know. Like, anyway, 1984, gunmen kidnap William Buckley, CIA station chief in Beirut, in Lebanon specifically. He was kidnapped by Hezbollah. He later died in captivity.
Wow.
So we have 2 kidnappings and deaths and such now. 84 as well, South Africa and Mozambique signed a non-attack treaty. 85, Associated Press correspondent Terry Anderson was taken hostage in Beirut, Lebanon. Here we go again. And he was not released until December of 91, so he was there for 6 years there. 1985, 2-time Cy Young Award winner Denny McLean was convicted of embezzlement and drug trafficking, sentenced to 25 years, but conviction was later reversed. 1988, chemical attack on Kurdish town in Habalajna by Iraqi forces killed 5,000 civilians, largest ever chemical weapons attack. So, yeah, the Kurdish town of Halabja in Iraq was attacked with a mix of poison gas and nerve agents on the orders of Saddam Hussein, killing 5,000 people and injuring about an additional 10,000.
Yep, I remember that really well.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, they even put photos of the dead on the pictures. You know?
Well, you gotta you gotta be shocked, because that is an appalling act, and
yes.
And humanity, thank goodness, raised up against Saddam Hussein. It took another 2,000 people to die through a completely unrelated thing before we got there and kicked his ass out. Or at least kicked his ass out of his little spider hole and let his people take care of him. So, 1988, federal grand jury indicted North and Poindexter in Iran-Contra affair. Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North and Vice Admiral John Poindexter were indicted on charges of conspiracy to defraud the United States. Yep. We also have North Ireland Protestant fires on Catholic funeral. 3 killed in a funeral. Like, this is somehow worse than the Westboro Baptist Church, and that's saying something. Yeah, during the Troubles, Ulster Loyalist militant Michael Stone attacked a provisional IRA funeral in Belfast with pistols and grenades. 3 people, one of them a member of the PIRA, were killed, and more than 60 others were wounded. During a funeral, man, come on. Have some form of respect, somewhere, somehow. Disgusting. 88, U.S. sends 3,000 soldiers to Nicaragua's neighbor Honduras. Why? What are we doing over there? Why are we in Nicaragua? Well, in Honduras, until we go to Nicaragua. 91, members of Irish homosexual organization march in New York City parade. Now, the primary source calls it gay and lesbian, but see, here's the thing. To make language easier, since they're both homosexual in nature, why don't we just call them both homosexuals? So that way, you know, we be more inclusive. You know, why are we using such divisive, you know, terms like, you know, gay and lesbian? They're very divisive. They're splitting them up, and, you know, and no, we got to unify them. So let's just call them what they are, homosexuals. Let's return gay to meaning happy. And while we're at it, let's return rainbow just to Christianity, because that was a symbol from God that all was well after the flood, you know, during the whole Noah thing. Like, a lot of things about that entire community has been taken from others, and I say that's not right. Let's end the divisiveness, let's end the theft, and let's start all acting like people. How about that? Are you with me? 1991, members of Irish, we got that one. 1991 as well, 7 members of Reba McIntyre's band and the road manager were killed in the plane crash. One of 2 private jets being used by the group clipped a mountain near San Diego, California. Yikes. Shortly after takeoff, pilot and co-pilot also perished. Jeez. That's terrible. Clipped a mountain. Wow. That's awful.
Yeah.
94, U.S. figure skater Tonya Harding pled guilty to felony attack on former Olympic teammate Nancy Kerrigan. Yes, we've covered that event. 95, Manhattan upsetted 4th seeded Oklahoma 77-67. What does that mean? Manhattan upsetted 4th seeded Oklahoma. Yeah.
Well,
it's a team. It's not about Manhattan. Okay, what is this? This is a sport.
Yes, it's basketball, college basketball.
Okay.
It's the NCAA tournament, and the seed is where you are placed in the tournament.
Okay, so Manhattan got Oklahoma off of the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manhattan upset 4th seeded. Oklahoma was seeded 4th.
Okay.
Obviously, Oklahoma was seeded 4th.
Yeah.
So Manhattan would see something like a 16 seed.
Okay. 95 as well, Mississippi House of Representatives formally abolished slavery and ratified the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Took you long enough, frickin' Mississippi. They formally ratified the 13th Amendment, becoming the last state to approve the abolition of slavery. The 13th Amendment was officially ratified in 1865. So they didn't even get it done until well after it was already, federal law of the land. That's ridiculous. So, that's almost as stupid as, like, there's this meme going out there that's saying, I'm not saying that you're stupid, but when I ask you to spell Mississippi and you ask me the river or the state, it caught me off guard. Something of that magnitude. 95, world best 7th wicket stand, 461 by Bhupender Singh Jr. and P. Harmony. I had to hit you again. I just had to.
Blindside me again.
98, Pope John Paul II asked God for forgiveness for the inactivity and silence of some Roman Catholics during the Holocaust. Yeah, how about the Pope that worked with the founder of fascism, Benito Mussolini, that created your Vatican into a state? If you really are against what you're saying here, my friend, John Paul II, Mr. Pope, then denounce the Vatican statehood. That's the only move. 2001, a series of bomb blasts in the city of Xinjiang, China, killed 108 people and injured 38 others, the biggest mass murder in China in decades.
Jeez.
Yeah. 2002, Sophia Gubiadulia's Johannes Ostern was premiered, together with her earlier Johannes Pastern at Hamburg's Mikhail Shikiri, performed by soloists, choir, and orchestra from the Mariinsky Theater, combined with NDR choir and orchestra conducted by Valery Grigiev. All right. That was a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Sounds important.
A lot of names to pronounce.
Yep. 2003, the largest coordinated worldwide vigil took place as part of global protests against the Iraq War. We also have U.S. activist Rachel Corrie was killed in Rafah by being run over by an Israeli Defense Force bulldozer while trying to obstruct the demolition of a home. They're just running over people over there. 2005, Israel officially handed over Jericho to Palestinian control. 2006, the United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to establish the UN Human Rights Council. Great, that's what we need. Just more government, more crap. You
looked in, they have put on that Human Council or whatever it's called, some of the worst countries in the world against humanity.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. Well, that's what they want. Because
why do you have that country on there of all countries?
Because here's the thing. Very much like how big pharma and the medical industry and everything doesn't actually help you, it just treats you so that way they can bill you along the way. If they habituate their problems, if the United Nations actually solved their problems, then they would work themselves out of a job. We can't have that, so we got to make them worse. We got to really further, even more cement ourselves as needed in this world that we're going to make more chaotic and let the money roll in. That's the plan. 2010, parts of the Kasubi tombs, architectural treasure and burial site of the Buganda kings, burned down in Kampala, Uganda. That's terrible. So it was a World Heritage Site. Uganda's only World Heritage Site.
I don't know what that means.
I will read that up here really quick. So, World Heritage Sites. World Heritage Sites are landmarks in areas with legal protection under an international treaty administered by UNESCO, which is the United Nations Environment, Science, something. It's
UNESCO,
it's more united for having cultural, historical, or scientific significance. The sites are judged to contain, quote, cultural and natural heritage around the world considered to be of outstanding value to humanity, end quote. There was something somewhere that seemed ridiculous that's recently, I think, been, what was it? Oh, yeah, the croissant. The croissant, because of, and this happened, like, after all the craziness of the pandemic and everything occurred, so it was still going on, but it was on the downstroke. But the amount of handmade, old-fashioned, French-style croissants was really going out of the window, because a lot of people couldn't afford, because they had to close down and everything is manufactured with machines, assembly lines, everything. So the artesian croissant, or how they could say it, croissant. Now I sound like a pretentious asshole. But I still didn't pronounce it right. But it is on the World Heritage UNESCO thing.
No,
like it is a World Heritage item.
Okay.
So that way it's preserved. In the event of it going extinct, it's not gone forever.
Yeah.
It's recorded. So, but the Kasubi tombs, Uganda's only cultural World Heritage site. That's a tragedy. And I have a feeling that it was probably somebody burnt them down on purpose just to be a dick. But these were tombs. Like, there's bodies in here, but this is Uganda. This is the desert. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is magnificent. And it's all gone now. I think maybe, because these all, a lot of these look modern, so I don't know if these are before or if they rebuilt them or what. I mean, look at the design of this roof, if the picture loads. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's awesome. 2011, U.S. Postal Service issued a set of 5 Latin music legend stamps, including one of Carlos Gardel. 2012, George Clooney and other several prominent participants, including Martin Luther King III, were arrested outside Sudanese embassy for civil disobedience.
Who's Martin Luther King III?
I think the third son of Martin Luther King Jr.? Let me look that up here really quick. No, I did not want my link tree.
I've never heard of that.
I have not either. Fourth president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Wasn't that started by Martin Luther King Jr.? The Southern Christian Leadership Conference or whatever?
I have no idea.
Born.
Is that a picture of him?
Yes.
He's a white guy.
No, that's a black guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. It is.
Yeah. Relatives. Martin Luther King Sr. grandfather.
Okay.
So I have to say parents, Martin Luther King Jr. His dad was Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
And Coretta Scott King.
Coretta Scott King, I know.
Yeah.
That was his sister or his wife.
His wife.
Yeah.
I hope not his sister. Or Martin Luther King Jr., right? Because this is...
Yeah, that's his...
Because this guy, wife. Martin Luther King Jr. III, his 2 parents are listed as Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's
so, yeah. Anyway, 2012 as well, former Indian cricketer Sachin Tendulkar became the first batter in history to score 100 centuries in international cricket. That's a lot of centuries. Oh, crikey, that's a millennium, I tell ya. 2013, a 10 billion euro Cyprus bailout plan will wipe out 10% of the citizens' bank deposits. That sounds nice, question mark? 2013, Wales routed England by a record 30-3 at Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, to retain their Six Nation Rugby Championship. Welsh winger Alex Cuthbert scored 2 tries and a fullback length halfpenny landed 4 out of 4 penalties. So rugby is just as bad as cricket. 2014, voters in Crimea they voted overwhelmingly to leave Ukraine and rejoin Russia amid international condemnation of its design. So they voted to go join Russia there. And I remember talking to somebody a while ago. You wouldn't shut up about the whole thing, over there. Both sides are awful in their own ways. I'm more of on the middle ground between the two. I don't value either side more than the other. They both have their own problems. So I just told them to cry me a river. Anyway, 2016, U.S. college student Otto Warember was sentenced to 15 years hard labor for trying to steal a political poster in Pyongyang, North Korea.
Yikes.
Now, he wasn't... They charged him with theft and all that stuff. No, he said that he thought the poster was cool and he wanted to take it home. So he was trying to be nice to them. But I think this is the guy... I'm gonna look this up and prepare yourself. They did release him, if this is the guy, because the arrest is the same. You know, the guy I'm thinking of stole a poster and all that stuff. But I don't even know what they did to him in prison. But they brought him back here and he was just completely destroyed. He entered a coma and then later died.
I heard about that.
Well, let's see if this is that same guy. Otto Warember. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. It might be. But
the guy, they finally got him back and he was such a mess and he didn't live.
Yeah. 2017, U.S. President Donald Trump's second travel ban was blocked by 2 federal courts. Of course it was. 2018, Asia's second richest person, Hong Kong's Li Ka-shing, announced his retirement at 89. 2019, beach dead whale found to have 88 pounds of plastic inside of it, including 40 pounds of plastic bags in Mabini, Philippines. It probably thinks it's a jellyfish, you know? So that's awful. 2020 Kung Flu study by London Imperial College showing migration approach could lead to 250,000 deaths in the UK, over 1 million in the US, prompted strategy changes from both countries. That sounds like fear-mongering propaganda to me, if there ever was any. What say you? Nothing? Okay. France ordered a national lockdown. U.S. recommended meetings 10 or less. 6 counties in San Francisco and surrounding counties told to shelter in place. I remember all this. We also have Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 2,997 points, or 12.9%, its largest single-day point loss and its second largest percentage drop. So that's crazy. Oh.
Yeah.
This follows the U.S. Federal Reserve announcing that it will cut its target interest rate to 0 to 0.25%. It was an even greater crash in Black Monday in 1929. So we're living through a record-breaking recession, worse than the Great Depression.
Market crash.
Well, a market crash that led to it. And during all this, friggin' good old Brandon printed more money in 1 to 2 years than the rest of the entire nation's history combined. Oh, we are in for a world of hurt that we can't even imagine. Just be prepared out there, people. Arm yourselves and take care. Take it easy. 2021 declassified U.S. intelligence report said Russian President Vladimir Putin authorized efforts to aid re-election of Donald Trump. That sounds straight up like a lie.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with him. So, 2021 as well, a gunman shot and killed 8 people at 3 different spas in Atlanta, Georgia.
Jeez.
How was he able to get between 2 to 3 different locations and eliminate people at least 2 or 3 locations? That's ridiculous. 8 people are killed and 1 was injured in a trio of shootings at spas in and near Atlanta, Georgia, U.S. A suspect was arrested the same day. So in and near. So this guy's traveling cross country.
What I wonder.
What the hell?
I'm just projecting. So many spas are focal points for gays, and I don't know if that's the case, but is that the underlying story here? Maybe.
I mean, I can't think of any other reason why somebody would just start shooting up one spa, let alone 2 or 3. So that's, yeah. 2021, Israeli researchers revealed the discovery of 2,000-year-old Dead Sea Scrolls, the first found in 60 years, left by Jews fleeing Romans in Horror Cave, Israel. 2022, British Iranians Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe and Anoshish Ashuri returned to the UK after being detained for 5 and 6 years, respectively, on spying charges. 2022, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed U.S. Congress remotely, pleading for further aid against the Russian invasion. Wasn't he a comedian? Yeah, he was a comedian.
He was a comedian originally, yeah.
Yeah, well, it looks like he never quit his day job, did he? What a piece of shit. We also have U.S. Federal Reserve raise interest rates for the first time since 2018 by 1/4 of a point to help ease rising price inflation. We also have a 7.4 magnitude earthquake occurred off the coast of Fukushima, Japan, killing 4 people and injuring 225. This is 11 years, weirdly, just a week apart, a year and a week, give or take, from the Fukushima Daiichi.
Oh, yeah.
We covered that, 4 or 5 days ago?
Whatever it was, yeah.
So, and then the day after that earthquake, the thing exploded and all that jazz. 2023 banking jitters continued as U.S. Wall Street banks agreed to deposit $30 billion in First Republic Bank as its stock plummeted in the wake of the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank.
Yeah, that's up in...
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
San Jose, right?
Yeah.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's where the Winchester House is, the Mystery House.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Well, I have a picture of me as a little guy, going up those stairs that you can't go up anymore. They have that roped off.
How'd you go up them then? I don't remember.
Well, it was before they roped it off.
Oh, okay.
Because I've looked at images of them over the past year.
Yeah.
And that section, because I have the pictures on my computer from our road trip, and I have an image of me up in that that staircase that goes up and to nowhere.
Yeah.
The image now, it's a roped off section. So. 2023, Emmanuel Macron's government special powers, use special powers to force through pension reform, raising the retirement age from 62 to 64 amid widespread protests. Times are tough.
The French aren't going to be happy with that.
Yeah, Emmanuel Macron, man, the French people, they need to stand up against this motherfucker. He started the fire on, I'm fairly certain. He's behind something involving the Notre Dame incident because on that same day he was set to make a speech to the Yellow Vests, and the Yellow Vests had actually erected a functional guillotine, and during the time Macron had excused himself out of France and was hiding in self-exile in another country, set to come back and make that speech, but oh, what a coincidence, Notre Dame caught fire. Oh, now we have a national emergency, and everybody forgot the speech he was supposed to make during all those protests where they wanted to actually decapitate him. I say they should go through with it, So, 2023, Houston Zoo announced their oldest resident, Mr. Pickles, no, not the evil dog from Adult Swim, and 90-year-old tortoise, was finally a father with Mrs. Pickles at the age of 53, the parents of 3 rare baby radiated tortoises named Dill, Gherkin, and Jalapeno. All right.
Jalapeno.
Yeah. Spicy pickle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to sneeze, and I didn't want it to be picked up on the camera. 2023, South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida held their first talk since 2011 in Tokyo, marking a milestone in relations between the two countries. All right. And last but not least, a fire, just this time last year, caused by pyrotechnic devices at a nightclub hosting a concert in Koshani, North Macedonia, killed at least 59 people and injured 155 others. Yikes. So, that shall conclude the show for today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made every day. We can only bring you a portion of 2 sources. Please, I implore you, continue your journey of self-education. Use me and my sources as a stepping stone among all your others. For all of you and all of us, for your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. I'm A.O. Xander.
The Golden Loon.
And you are you. Until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Where's the thing? There's the thing.